Hey folks, today I'm going to be going over the Weaver tree nodes that we've seen so far. It's going to be from the perspective of a COF main player. I'm sure this information will probably be useful if you play MG as well, but just keep in mind this is going to be COF focused. As always, if you do like this sort of thing, please leave a like on the video. Let me know that you want more content like this. Anyway, let's jump into it. So I've highlighted some nodes in this image that I put together, and I pasted them all over the nodes where they are on the tree so you can get an idea of where you might want to do pathing. The nodes that I've highlighted are ones that I think will potentially be valuable for COF, and ones that you might want to consider trying when you are doing your league start strats. So anyway, the first set of nodes that I've highlighted, you can see here in purple, these are the IMPRINT item nodes. Now, the reason why I've highlighted these ones specifically is because in the past, it has been very difficult for COF to get good exalted items, especially if you care about base types and stuff like that, which I think will be much more relevant in 1.2 with all the focus around like set crafting, experimental crafting, champion affixes and stuff like that. So targeting specific exalt items I think will be very valuable. And prophecies, which is the other way COF gets items, is currently not a super efficient way to get exalts. So I do think that you will want these targeting things as COF especially, and especially early on in your progression to get those exalt items. So there's 4 of those. You can see Warlord's Riches, that's the champion one. There's Echoing Riches, that's the armor or jewelry. There is Sealed Riches, that is the armor or weapon. And then you have Commoner's Riches, that is weapon or jewelry. The next set of nodes that I highlighted, somewhat related here, is the woven imprints. You can see them here in a blue color. So these I think are going to be very important for COF because they are how you access the new endgame crafting systems. So unlike MG, you can't just buy the finished product. You'll have to craft all your items. So especially early on, you'll want access to as many of these crafting uses as you can get. There's also another one here. Rare enemies inside your tomes and cemeteries have an additional chance to drop the woven echoes. So all of these are just going to help you get those crafts and whatever else it is you need. The woven echoes are also just generally useful because a lot of the procs happen in the woven echoes. So you will want that. This can also be used for targeting Uber Aberoth, by the way. So you want drops from that. You'll want these nodes as well. The next node I want to highlight here is Arena Echoes. I would recommend that you at least try Arena in 1.2 before blocking it. They have said there's a lot of improvements. Maybe there's a chance you might like it. If not, this will be a node that you want to take. Just completely block them, because if they are still unrewarding, then yeah, just remove them and you'll be a lot happier. The next set of nodes that I want to highlight is any node that gives you additional density or additional monsters. As COF especially, these are very high value. Unlike MG, where you're just mostly caring about item drops endgame, you don't really care about XP once you're level 100. For COF, you do. So anything that gives you extra monsters is indirectly giving you favor. So you're getting more items from prophecies, and you're getting all of the items you drop. So these are doubly high value for COF. Anything that does this you want, no matter what, it's going to be high value. Yeah, there's the few nodes here. You have champion spawn rate. That's going to be pretty high value. You have the spider packs. We don't know how good these are, but this will be high value, most likely. You have twinned champions, so that synergizes with the champion packs. This will be probably pretty valuable. The next one here I think is going to be really valuable. Rare dungeon packs. These can also drop dungeon items. So as COF, obviously you can't just buy dungeon items, you actually have to run them. With this node, that's no longer the case. So I think this, if you do need dungeon items for your build, will be quite high value in addition to the density you get. I've also highlighted this node next to it. Rare enemies are permanently enraged. They drop additional runes and glyph. Just because it's a 1-pointer, it's pretty efficient to just grab if you're already doing this rare one. The reason why I grabbed this is because runes, we have the Rune of Havoc. This could be a good way to get it, potentially. That's possibly a lot if it's proccing on every rare that you kill. Some areas also are just basically full of rares. At least that's how it works right now. So if you do want a lot of rares, you could potentially target this and get crazy amounts of runes, maybe get some of those havocs to make some good items. The next set of items that I've highlighted here is Nemesis. So I think Nemesis is going to be pretty high value too. Nemesis seems to be a pretty big part of the endgame crafting ecosystem now, and you're currently only putting in one item at a time for the upgrading. But as far as like recycling items, re-rolling, doing the gamble with the LP, which can turn it back to 0, then you can throw it in Nemesis again, or just in general making items and then recycling the trash to do the new unique re-roll thing. All of this is going to synergize quite well with just getting more Nemesis. So I do think you'll probably want the Nemesis nodes here. And then the final thing that I've highlighted is a bit of a wild card. I think that there is a chance that XP Tome targeting might be a decent meta strategy for COF in 1.2. There's a few reasons for that. The first one is they mentioned changing the difficulty scaling of corruption. Now, XP Tomes don't scale with corruption. So if it is harder to push corruption, people are generally doing lower corruption. XP Tomes could be a lot more relevant if that's the case. Another thing is you can block basically all of the other echo rewards and then almost exclusively get XP Tomes. So what you do is you block the runes, you block glyph, you block arena key, you block gold, and then pretty much all that's left is XP Tomes and a couple other things. So you're going to have a lot of those nodes. You can also get a Echo reroll. It's a rare node in the Echo web that you'll find sometimes. So I think what a strategy could be is you start in the center of the Echo web, you path towards the outer edge, where the nodes will give you the most amount of experience tomes, so they'll give you 7. Then you're blocking all of them, you're getting a lot of XP tome echo reward nodes, and then you proc a reroll once you've done a bunch of them, and then a bunch of the remaining nodes that you didn't run will now become XP tomes, so you run those as well, you get even more XP tomes. And in addition to that, so this strat, by the way, would basically just be like a speed run strat, so you'd come in here, path grab these nodes, do the whole blocking thing, and then you just go for completions. So you're just going in, trying to get as many completions as you can. And then you would also take this double reward chance. So with 4 points, this would be 20%. It's basically giving you 20% more experience, therefore favor for your prophecies as COF. So that could be pretty significant if pretty much every node you're doing is XP tomes. So that is possibly interesting. And then we also have you have a chance for experience tomes with an S to drop when you complete an Echo objective. So this says 5% per point, 2 points. I don't know if this is multiple. It says tome singular here and then tomes plural here, so it could be multiple. But yeah, that may synergize with the double chance. I don't know if it's actually counting as a reward, but either way, this is probably valuable. You're probably going to be pathing through it anyway. And then we have another one here that you probably would be pathing through anyway, just to grab the sealed thing here. And that's favor cache, so favor very valuable as COF. You'll probably want to grab that. And yeah, these are kind of the nodes I think will be valuable. I'm sure a lot of the other ones we haven't seen yet will come into play as well and probably be worth taking. But for now, I think these are pretty good nodes to keep an eye out for. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all I have for today. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.